I believe that everything does happen for a reason. Whether that is a spiritual thing or not, I think that every path is a path that you were meant to take. Because if it wasn't the path you were meant to take, it wouldn't happen that way. It would have happened a different way.
From Detroit, Michigan, weighing in at 190 pounds, the Spyder!
Shut up! My name is J.R. Blanton. I am 43 years old. I am a professional wrestler. My ring name is The Spyder.
This is what The Spyder has to wrestle? This is a joke.
It was a name that was given to me by my dad when he was with his drinking buddies when I was a little kid. I think I was about 8 years old. I was a very hyperactive kid, so I was always all over the place. And my dad one time saw me and he said, "Go in your room." And one of his friends, Joe, said, "Man, that kid's like a spider." And my dad said, "No, that kid is The Spyder."
And The Spyder says you're gonna like it or you will get bit!
I've wanted to be a wrestler since I was a little kid. I was born as a nervous baby, so I had a hard time settling down. My parents couldn't figure out what to do with me, so they gave me to my grandfather. He put me on his knee. He turned on an old school wrestling, black and white, and for whatever reason, I stopped crying and just never stopped loving it.
I grew up watching guys like Shawn Michaels and Kurt Angle and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Those were the guys that I watched and knew I wanted to be like. And even guys like Midnight Express. Midnight Express is probably one of the best tag teams, if not the best tag team of all time.
As a viewer, I love the storytelling. I like to see, the good guy have a struggle, a big struggle, and then get that comeback. And then once they get that comeback and they go into the finish, if it's something that's done right, it can really change your perception on not just wrestling. And that's the whole purpose of telling a great story. It's no different than a book. It's no different than a TV show or a movie. It's what entertains you. And wrestling, I think, is one of the best forms of entertainment. When I first had my taste of wrestling in terms of being a part of it, it was in 2013. Scott Diamond, who's my mentor, he brought me down to Indiana. And at the end of the night, he said, "You're a natural at this. You got to get trained." But again, being married, it wasn't going to happen because my ex-wife hated wrestling and didn't want me to be a part of it. She didn't want to live what she said was a single mother life where I'm always on the road, which in a lot of ways is understandable. But I started feeling like it just wasn't going away. That itch to want to do this kept growing. I've always been told I'm smaller. Being short is one thing, but being thin, it's not by choice. I was diagnosed with colon cancer. And in 2007, they told me, "You're completely clear." Colonoscopy confirmed it, but then they said instead of colitis, I now have ulcerative colitis. I live this life every day in pain, knowing that my main goal is to entertain people. It was really brutal. It's why I still have PTSD, because my marriage was falling apart. There wasn't really much I could do about it because I was making a lot of money, and then when I got sick again, I just couldn't do what I was doing before to make enough money. I had to work 2 jobs. That wasn't good enough. Then I had to work 3 jobs. And at that point, I was barely seeing my kids, and they started to think I really didn't care about them. And it's a sad thing because it was the complete opposite of reality. I can be accused of a lot of things. I'm not a perfect person. The one thing I can never be accused of is ever not caring about my kids, because anybody who knows me truly knows that my kids mean absolutely everything to me. Unfortunately for me, I went to work one day, had it all, and then came home and had nothing. The worst part about a divorce or a separation, especially when you've been with someone for 2 decades, is the idea that you're not going to see your kids as much. That's a reality that pretty much everybody that goes through a divorce or separation has to face when there's children involved. You lose everything, and then you lose your money, you lose your car, you lose your house, you lose your family. Losing all that at once is enough to make anybody suicidal. I knew that that was it and that everything was done for me. And I didn't know how I was going to get out of all the debt that I knew was going to avalanche on me. I parked my car And I walked over to the bridge and I told God I hate him. And I said, you finally got what you want. I've lived a life of misery and now it's gonna end. And right as I was about to take that step and jump off, my phone rang again, and this time it was a notification. And when I looked at my phone, it was my son. And he said, Dad, I love you. We all love you. I know this is a dark time for you, but please don't give up because we need you. Your daughter needs you, and me and my brothers need you. I can't really explain it. It changed me that day. And all the things that I had, all the dreams in my life I wanted to go after, the one thing I never did was wrestling. I just started looking for a wrestling school. And then fortunately for me, I found House of Truth.
This is where everybody takes their first step to make it in the world of professional wrestling. My name is Truth Martini, owner and head trainer of the House of Truth, and here we are. When I see people when they first walk into a wrestling school and when they're done after 12 weeks, they're a changed person.
I started going to House of Truth in 2021. I started training in April. I made my pro debut in August on the 6th of 2021. I was 41 years old.
I see people that have come here almost like lost in life, and then they find meaning. And because they're doing something that many people don't do in their life, and that is to follow their childhood dream.
When I finally found Martin's school, I went in, I sat down, I talked to him, and I said, look, I'm 40 years old. I'm about to be 41. Is it really even worth me doing this? And Martin, to his credit, he always believes in people. He's one of the most positive and wonderful human beings you'll ever meet. And he looked at me and he said, no, it's not too late for you. You can contribute in a lot of ways. Even if you only have 10 years to be in the ring, you still have other things that you could do where you could make an impact and help other people that are coming up and help make new stars. There's a whole lot of things that you could do. You just have to believe that you can do it. And he was right. Whatever I'm asked to do, I go out there and I'm either getting cheered like crazy for being the colorful animated guy with his tongue constantly sticking out, or I'm the guy that comes through the curtain and tells you exactly how much you suck and how much your mother sucks. I like to be the bad guy because I have way more fun with it, and I feel like I get just the reaction I do that I do with a baby face. But as a baby face, I have to admit my favorite part of wrestling is when I'm done with a show and the little kids will follow me around like I'm the Pied Piper. And they'll bring their parents to my merch table and they want to hug me and call me Spider-Man. And it's like, it doesn't matter what it is that they see in me that draws them to me. The fact that I can touch a child's life who's interested in wrestling, the feeling it gives me is justification that I was right, that I was meant to do this, because somewhere, sometime, somebody will be influenced by something I've said or something I've done, and that will make it all worth it.
I mean, talk about like changing people's lives changing. There's so many students I can count, like one in particular, Spyder. The first time I seen Spyder when he walked into here, he knows this. He was a broken man. I mean, I saw a man devastated and a man that joined a wrestling school. I never told him this. I think under the wrong intention. But the longer he stayed here, his motivations have changed. And it went from this form of a broken man to gathering up all these pieces and almost looking at life through a different lens. I love that he took his suffering he was feeling and he knew what to do with it. Because some people crumble under it. But he kept going forward, and with suffering comes wisdom. And I did meet his children, and his children are proud of him. And it's stories like that why I like doing this. It's not just wrestling, it's life. Is that okay?
That was perfect.
I've always felt like an outcast my whole life. I've always felt like I wasn't wanted. Even in my marriage, after all those years, I felt like, what's the purpose of me being here? Just raining down on me all the time, just thinking I'm worthless. But Martin believed in me. Even when I didn't believe in myself. I'm grateful for people like Martin that genuinely care not just about this business, but about the people in it, you know? That's why we're a family. And I am grateful for this journey, for this life, even the negative times I've had. It's like I've said before, you know, I believe that we do have a purpose and that everything is meant to happen for a reason, because if it could have happened another way, it would have. And I strongly believe that.